Everybody, Andy here again. A Saturday, another day, another vlog. This has made me think, this sort of whole video, vlogging, vlogger day, vid feed type of thing, keeps making me think of all these sort of little slogans like a vlogger day keeps the subscribers away. Because I have a feeling that this may actually sort of stop people watching sometimes. They might get sort of so sick and tired of seeing the same people producing vlog after vlog after vlog, day after day. And people have already said that it's not clogging up their systems, but it's going back to what it used to be, and that's the whole idea, I think, of this. To maybe sort of get some interest in it. There was a time a while ago when there were so many videos you just couldn't watch them all, but you were sport for choice. So I suppose maybe the cream rose to the top, maybe sort of pick the best ones that you wanted to watch, and you had to spend a bit more time here. And spending a bit more time here then brings about the sort of community benefits. I've heard so many different people this week who've got into this, which I think is great. Some people have got back into vlogging by doing this. Some people have just carried on as they've always done. People like Beth and myself to a certain degree, although I don't think I've ever done this quite so sort of concertedly, sort of a vlog a day, you know. I've done sort of more than one in one particular day, etc. But people are talking about sort of different aspects of this, and as I said, one person, John Regan, was talking about the sort of community side of it. I know other people have mentioned this as well. John, if you don't know him, is a great community advocate and has been for a long time now. I know I've spoken about him before, and as he said, he seems to think he can see this sort of bringing people back together, sort of people getting back into that sort of vlogging thing, and maybe some of those people who were around a while ago. He's mentioned 2006, I've mentioned 2006, and I know people who weren't around in 2006 or even the early days of vloggerheads and that, which is another thing that comes up, might think that we're sort of being a bit elitist and we were there and you weren't, we were doing this before you were. But honestly, from my point of view, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for John and the other people who've mentioned it as well, Gary for example, it's not that at all. It's just the fact that I can remember, and I know Gary can, and I know John can as well, back in the sort of 2006 when I joined and got involved in it, we were all new to this, we were all new to video making, we were all new to vlogging, so there was that sort of passion, that excitement. We were sort of doing something different, sort of tiptoeing across and sort of finding something new, something that we like, and we're still doing it, so it had a profound effect on us in one way or another, and it sort of brought us out and given us a whole new avenue to sort of project ourselves or whatever, to, you know, just another new sort of string to our bow, another new way that we can communicate with people, and it's given us an opportunity to do something that we probably couldn't do before. But there was that excitement then, and there were lots of people just talking, just vlogging, and the sort of the early days of the art form, if you want to put it that way, of vlogging itself. And it was exciting, but partly because it was new, but because we were discovering things. And I think that that's sort of come back. The early days of the Vloggerhead site was a bit like that. I was there, and I know several other people were, and it was great. People were just sort of throwing videos up, doing more than one video a day. If someone posted a particular topic that they wanted to hear, they enjoyed or wanted to respond to, they just quickly did a video, 5 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever it was, uploaded it, didn't care about the quality of the video itself, not the actual content of the video, but the image quality, should we say, the sound quality maybe even, and didn't worry too much about the length of it, didn't worry about the editing process, and that was sort of music to my ears, because maybe I'm lucky that I can do this. Like I've said before, I can just sort of turn on the camera and talk, get it right first time, and if I don't get it right, I don't worry too much about it. I'll sort of bumble through. Yes, there are occasions when I completely mess up the beginning of the vlog, and that's usually what happens. It's usually the very beginning, the introduction, that I mess up rather than anything else, not the end or whatever. So that's usually I don't have to do more than one take. So for me, it's quite easy. Here I come, turn on. I wasn't going to do the vlog now, but I made myself a cup of tea, and I thought, no, I'm just going to turn on the camera and start talking and see what comes out. I wanted to talk about the vlogging thing. So the early days of vlogging, as I said, was similar to that as well. But once again, people say, oh yeah, you're harking back to that. You were there, we weren't. And as I said, it really isn't that. It was just that sort of got back into it again. I think I'm not going to name other people, but I can think of people who said at the time, this is great, this is what it should be like. But when that sort of, not enthusiasm dies away, but there's so many other things sort of come into it, and other things in life come into it, and you sort of lose your impetus a bit. You lose the sort of will. I mentioned it in a video not long ago called Video Apathy, and that is, I felt that a little bit at the time. But this has sort of rekindled my sort of love of doing this. Not that I ever lost it completely, but it's brought it back and it's brought other people into it. I'm finding it very hard, I must admit, watching all the videos. As I said in an earlier video, this week has been a pretty busy week for me one way or the other, so it hasn't come at the right time, but it's made me get up there, it's made me put the vlogs out, it's made me think again, it's got my sort of a head going and the tongue certainly going, and I think it's been great, but it's sort of like a double-edged sword, because one of the things I like about this sort of particular site, and certainly liked about Vloggerheads, especially in the early days when it was easier to interact, and I'm not trying to criticise that site, please don't think Tom or anyone else who's watching, might be watching this, that I'm not criticising Vloggerheads at all. I'm not. I think it's a great site. It's, as I've said before, I just haven't got the time to devote to it. I wish I did have the time to devote to it, because I know I'd enjoy it, but this has always been my sort of home. It's where I did it first, but I'm finding it hard, in a good way, to sort of answer all those comments, because that's what I like. I like that interaction, as I said before. The interaction is what's so great about this. I did a video recently about, in one of these sort of vlogs, about social networking and that. And when you see social networking mentioned, funny enough, I was reading something in the paper about this earlier on today. They always mention MySpace, they mention Facebook, they mention Bebo and things like that, and a couple of other sites as well. But places like YouTube are never mentioned in the same way. Now, to me, this has been a bigger social networking tool, I think, than any of the other sites put together. I mean, yes, I've recently gone onto Facebook. Yes, I do something on MySpace, which is completely detached from video making. But people never think of YouTube as a social networking site, but I think it is, and I think this whole thing has proved it. The amount of friends that I've made here, the amount of friends that you've made here, proves that to me. It's not a social networking site in the way that some of the others are, but because of the way that it works. But we're communicating not by type, we're communicating by the eye, you know, sort of eye to eye. This is me, you know, as you can see me, you can almost touch me, sort of through the camera sort of thing. And I think that's far more personable than something like Facebook or MySpace or something like. I've said this several times before, but I just wish that people would see through that sort of the thin layer of all the dross at the top of YouTube, which you see on the front page, etc. If people just got through that and got down deeper and actually saw what was going on that sort of deep dark underbelly of YouTube. We're here, we've always been here, but I think there's a resurgence for that now. Maybe we can get some more people in to enjoy themselves as well. So once again, your thoughts are very, very welcome on this. I may well carry on with this, as I said before, because I have enjoyed this. It sort of got me talking again. I've thought about even maybe recording some more vlogs today. I've been putting comments here and there, and sort of maybe I haven't really jotted anything down this week. I've just sort of done what I wanted to do. I haven't referred to my notebooks that I've famously mentioned before, with all these ideas and little subjects, or even just a line of something or a quotation which has made me think of something. I haven't even touched that. I haven't needed to. And I mentioned before about the vlogs that I've already got on on the computer sitting there. So this could go on for a long time. I mentioned before that I didn't know how I'd be able to keep this up, whether you could do a vlog a day, but I'm not so sure about that. Once again, I mentioned in another vlog about the time that people do it. A vlog doesn't have to be 10 minutes, just because I do one that's 10 minutes long every single day, and that's the way it seems to be with me. It could be 2 minutes, it could be a minute, it doesn't matter, as long as it's a vlog. And as I said before, vlogging's whatever you want it to be. So if you've never done it before, give it a go as well. That's another thing that I'd like to see other people give this a go. Maybe this has inspired you in some way to see people just turning on the camera and talking and seeing what comes out. We all have to start somewhere. When I first started vlogging, my first video, it wasn't too bad, but it was pretty ropey. I was a bit dubious about it, a bit wary, a bit self-conscious looking into the camera, or trying to look into the camera and forgetting. So if you're sitting out there and you're seeing all these vlogs and you think, I'd quite like to do that, these are just ordinary people just talking ordinary things. Yes, we are. We're no different to you guys and girls out there. So give it a go and just try it for yourself. You don't even have to upload the video, but you'll get support. Other people say, oh, I'm not a very good vlogger, and this. Yes, you'll be as good as anyone else. Just give it a go and join the community, join the Vloggerheads, even the Vloggerhood even, is what I'm trying to say, and get involved, and we can make this social networking site a lot bigger and better than it already is. And because it's on the rise, I think, so that community feel has come back. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I will probably be back tomorrow, maybe even later today, who knows. We'll see how the bug takes me. We're going to vlog like it's 2006. Thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.